Here's what visual hierarchy is. Did it get you? Here's why this matters to you. If you get someone to open your cold email, the next thing they do is go to your website, and they make a split-second decision. Is this company legit? Let's check out 2 company websites that cold emailed me this week that I bounced off of because they had bad visual hierarchy. All right, here's the first one. Not bad on the headline. The subtext is a little thin, which makes it hard to read. The CTA button could be a little bigger. But here are the 2 big issues. This video dominates my visual field and essentially includes a whole second hero text. So my eyes are tracking between these 2. And finally, these big white cards really pull my attention down because they're so high contrast against this dark blue background. The end result, when I close my eyes and then open back up and look at the screen, my vision gets stuck between all of these elements, and I don't really read any of them. Here's the second site. At first glance, it looks a little better, but honestly, the visual hierarchy isn't much better. First, it's pretty atypical to have a social proof logo section right under your hero, so it disconnects the hero heading and the subtext that supports it. So when I'm reading this page, I read the headline, I ignore this section because I don't care to read testimonials for something that I don't understand. And really what I'm doing is I am scanning down the page as fast as I can to find a UI shot. This UI shot is the first thing that I find intriguing, and it's the first thing that gives me some semblance of an idea of what this tool is. Let's see if we can quickly fix this page by just playing with the visual hierarchy. I'm not gonna play with the copy. The first thing I'm gonna do is get rid of this testimonial section, bring this section down here, and I'm going to expand these so they have a little more space to breathe, slightly increase the size of this hero. I'm going to force this onto 2 lines, decrease the space between these lines, delete this little subheader for the CTA, put it in a pill, and I'm gonna move it on top of the hero, increase the size of this button just a little bit, create some additional space between all of these elements, highlight and bring all of these elements down the page a little bit. Let's move the logo and the nav. Finally, increase the size of this text down below, push it to 2 lines, get rid of this big blocky text down here, include a subheader that's easier to read, create a little space for this header, get rid of the numbering, add just a little more space in between these elements. The last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of this image. This does nothing for me. Put a gray box on the screen, and I'm gonna drop a UI element in here so that it can actually help me understand what this tool is just by looking at the UI. Here's what we started with. Here's what we ended with. It took me 5 minutes to do this, but it increases the comprehension of the page quite substantially. Final takeaway, if you feel like you have bad visual hierarchy on your site, you might want to slow down your advertising and outbound efforts because you could be burning cash sending people to a website that they're gonna bounce off of.